We were stuck there for, I suppose, until the Sunday. The water was still there, and Noel, Price and myself decided to go out and explore around. And you could walk in the water up to about here, up the top end of Hunter Street. And I was going along and I could see these fingers of this glove sticking up through the water. And I wandered across, I thought, oh, someone might be attached to it. So I just picked it up, and it was a brand new pair of motorcycle gloves. I don't know where they came from. We wandered up there, and the Belcher brothers turned up in their boat, and they went across to McLaughlin's bakery. I don't know where they got the bread from, because McLaughlin's were flooded. But they filled the boat up with bread, and so we travelled up and down the lower end of High Street, down towards the railway station. We stopped at the Queen's Arms Hotel, the Currency Lass, and back into the town hall. You could float the boat right up to the awnings on the hotel and just pass the bread to the people. And we floated the boat into the town hall, just into the doorway, and we gave some more bread out there. And with that, when it was empty, we headed back home. We got back there, and there was around about 15, 18 inches of mud right through the house. Lewis, my brother, and we decided we'd clean her out. So we had a couple of garden spades and we started into it. And it was a hopeless job. And we're just about ready to give up, and a team of coal miners turned up. Sorry. And they came in with their great big pit shovels and cleaned the house out, and in about 2 hours they had all the mud gone. They had it washed, cleaned, not dry, but it was washed and cleaned and ready to live in. And we were so grateful to those fellas and always remember them. They've done a fine job. Anyway, after that, it was back to work. They wanted us to come into work. The waters had cleared off, and as you know, a lot of the telephones, Dorothy had said, a lot of the telephone lines were down, and we had to get them back online. And my area of concern was around about Regent Street and down round towards the courthouse. A lot of the subscribers' lines cables were wet. We just had to put a new cable in and connect it up to the phone that was working. Down near the Long Bridge, we could go up into the corner of Regent Street to our Rourke's building, and a temporary telephone exchange had been set up there to switch the lines through. The northwest trunk line, it came across on the southern side of the Long Bridge, and the flood water rushing through underneath had picked up and washed all the dirt away, and the cable was just spread out in a necklace right around the farm, and it was just smashed beyond repair. And what we had to do was to replace that cable. It being a trunk cable, it was a special cable, and we had to get a couple of big drums of cable to run across, and we had to pull them from up at the Regent Street corner across the Long Bridge and down past to Denman Street opposite the courthouse. And just an incident that did occur there was about 8 of us linemen were pulling the cable across the bridge, and we're still in water up possibly to our ankles. And Stan Browning, he was one of the cable joiners at the time. He had his gas cylinder on one shoulder and his tool bag on the other shoulder. And we're pulling the cable across the bridge, and we get to the Maitland side, and there was a bit of a causeway. The people said you couldn't see it, the water was over it, but you could walk across it. So we're pulling the cable across, and Stan's walking beside us. But we didn't know that the causeway had washed away on one side, and Stan stepped off the end of the bridge and there was nothing. And there he goes with his tool bag and his cylinder straight down to the bottom. But we rescued Stan out of it, and he lost all his tools, and his gas cylinder, for as far as I know, is still there.